Kiss.
And what's the name underneath? Is that your name?
It says carnivore.
Oh, carnivore. I thought it was a G. You pronounce it with a G there. Carnivore. He's not going to eat me, is he? Huh? Oh, good. Because I'm fearful of those dinosaurs.
Alright, they're both recording.
They're recording. Well, good morning, guys. I'm glad you could be here for that poetry session of the Maranatha Mission Learning Center. Now, this morning, we're going to do a unit in poetry. Now, why you see the cameras in here is because I'm recording this for one of my teachers. And what I'm doing my research on is called this, ACDC, Authentic Classroom Discussions Clusters. Anybody know what that means? Authentic, that means it's real. In other words, I'm not standing in front of a classroom and teaching you. We're sitting at a table and talking. That's authentic. Classroom means just a group of people. Discussion means we're going to talk about things. And a cluster, you're the cluster. In other words, you're clustering around a table and we're going to discuss things. Now, why do I use this type of teaching? First of all, it gives positive feedback. You know what that means?
Good feedback.
Good feedback. You're going to tell each other good things about your poetry today. And it hopefully will give you interest in writing. In other words, you'll want to write just by sitting around with your friends and writing things. And finally, socialization. Socrates. Anybody ever hear the word named Socrates? Or he was a famous man many, many years ago, thousands or millennia ago. And he used to sit around with his students. They didn't usually have tables, but they would sit around on the grass or around a rock or on stone seats, and they would talk about things. And he would make his students ask him questions. And then, how do you think he answered them?
Positive.
No, he answered them with another question. Whenever a student asked him a question, he would answer them with another question until they came to the answer to the problem. So that's what we're doing. That's the type of learning style we're going to use today. Now, the next one, what we're going to do is poetry. All right? Why are we going to start with poetry? First of all, it's easy. It usually comes by what you're feeling. Second of all, you don't have to worry about grammar. You don't have to worry about punctuation. And you don't have to worry about syntax. That means the way the words line up in a sentence. All you have to do is write words. So that's why we're going to start with poetry. Now, we're going to do three types of poetry today. One is called cinquain, all right? And that is a type of poetry that has a specific structure, and it's Japanese poetry. Then we're going to do haiku. That's another type of Japanese poetry, and that has to do with syllabic forms. In other words, in syllables. You will learn how to do it in syllables. And the third one is, you might know this one. You ever heard of a limerick? Now, they're kind of funny poems. You can write about anything you want. All right? Now, so we're going to write one poem, then we're going to talk about it, and you're going to give feedback to each other on what you liked about it, what you might want to say. You might say something like, well, I would like it better if you said this. Try not to say to somebody, I really don't like that. What you're trying to do is say positive things to people about their poetry in the best way you can. You may not always work out that way, but you try it as best you can. Then we're going to have lunch, and then we'll have a poetry slam. A poetry slam is a dramatic reading of